What is up, guys, and welcome to my deck list for Philippines Baguio's Spring Fest. I'm part of the top 8. I am Victor. Somebody asked me to make this video for you guys due to a bunch of requests. Thanks for Team ContiBreak for making this possible. So I'm gonna start with the deck list, then explain some of the combos and how I fought against some specific clans like Link Joker and Kagero. So starting off with the Forerunner, we've got Kabutron. It's really good. It's kind of like Soda Girl, but instead of going back to the deck, it just goes into the soul. It's really good. It does a lot of combos later, which I will explain. 2 Red Lightnings for your counter charge needs. 4 Break Passes. 4 of the new Fighters Collection heal trigger. And 6 draw triggers. And that's it for the grade 0s. Next up is for the grade 1 lineup. We've got 4 Lady Cyclones, 4 Stride Fathers, 4 Malyakis. Malyaki is like the key card on how to kill your opponent. And if you don't really get a Malyaki, like for some reason you never got a Malyaki and you could have killed him, Furious Puncher is the guy to get. As for our grade 2 lineup, we run 3 Cool Hanks, 3 Sever Tempers, 2 Spurt Centaurs, 2 Starlight Hedgehogs, 2 Bare Knuckle Arnists, and 1 Arbrail. And for our grade 3, of course, we're gonna go with a bunch of Victors. I don't know if you guys have noticed, my name's actually Victor, and I main Nova Grappler, which their avatar card is also Victor. Gives me an excuse to say I play with myself. So 4 of the old Victors and 3 of the new Victors. And moving on to our G Zone. We'll start with the one-offs. The G Guards is Dismel, Gunreed, Unyor, and Raktomi. It's the same as that promotion card that you get for buying the that one comic book, I think. Yeah, it's pretty useful. It's a utility deck, so everything here has a specific use depending on the situation. And we have Tri-Brute. I like Tri-Brute. I actually want to run 2 of him, but I really had to make room for the new Fighters Collection GB8 because I thought maybe I should use it. And we have a Seabreeze. Seabreeze is very key to this deck because whoever strides first kind of wins, especially against lineups like Luard or Gear Chronicle, because you want to beat down their deck before they could even get the chance to build up their hand. So 1 Seabreeze, 4 Victoplasmas, of course, for Link Jokers and those pesky Kagero players. 4 Meteor Kaiser Victors, because it also sets up favorite champ. 1 Fang Dragon King Fist Dragger, also known as Booster Filler. I never used this card, I've never used this card once, so I don't even know why I put it in there. I thought it would be useful, maybe at a late game, like maybe against Link Jokers, but no. And last but not the least, favorite champ Victor. This is the ace. This is the reason why I kept winning, to be honest. Okay, so explanations on why I run a few certain things. So I don't use this card like ever, so I'll put it here. Could probably change it into another Tri-Brute. Tri-Brute is one of my some of my first strides, especially against Luard, or even Night Rose. Actually, any clan, against any clan, because board control is still a -1 card. So I like to run Tri-Brute. He's even my first stride. 4 Victors is also a really good first stride, especially if retiring is not that important. My choice between these two is that if I need to board wipe, I would go for Tri-Brute because most of the time I could actually clear up the whole board, and Victor if I'm looking for that quick push to GB3. And as for Victoplasma, of course it's a Restanding Vanguard. You can't lock a Restanding Vanguard using Freeze Ray, and you can't denial Griffin it. So that's the best part. So you're still taking in damage even though. Sea Breeze, there's so many ways that you could utilize Sea Breeze. Like for example, there was this one time in a top 8 game where I had to use Sea Breeze. I only had 3 counterblasts. 2 was used to pay for the Sea Breeze and to put this guy into, and this guy was the heart card, so it was a Soul Blast to stand. I had this card in the other side, this card there, and then there was another one here. So basically what was happening was I was swinging with this guy, then swing again, Soul Blast stand. So instead of being 14, you became a 16k lane. So we reached magic numbers with this combo just because. Oh wait, no, actually no. That was a whole different game. This is. I actually did multiple attacks since they were grade 2. They tried to stick to grade 2. Actually, they didn't try. They got right screwed. So I got a bunch of attacks and killed him off there. He was playing Grand Blue, I believe. But it's really good. It's really good, especially if you're out of counterblast. I only had 1 counterblast left, and it was supposed to be to use for Kabutron, and I might have gotten a crit here, but I don't recall as much. And as for my grade 3 lineups, I use 3 of these because he's only he's a backup, to be honest. For me, he's a backup. The reason why I'd rather ride the old Victor is because he gives +5. He gives +5 and he pays for a counterblast. And the +5 is very useful, and people think why don't you just go for Sever Temper and then just put a Maliaki behind him? But I always tell them like it's still a +5 and it's a soul, and I already put a lot of things here that eats up soul, like for example Spurt Centaur and Arnest. So now here comes the combos, like the reason why I run such an abundance of grade 2s. So I'm gonna explain why Arboreal. Why 1 Arboreal is because he eats up soul. He eats up soul, and at the end of it all, I'm not gonna need his Soul Blast 1, Counter Blast 1 for my favorite champ turn. So I'm pushing everything for my favorite champ turn. I will first try to Tri-Brute, and if I have a heal trigger in hand, I will just use the G Guard to flip another G Guard. That's an automatic GB3, which enables favorite champ Victor to do his unlimited attacks move. Now, the reason why I run these grade 2s, which other people probably wouldn't even suggest to play, is because they help me build up my hand, especially on my first ride. Remember when I said I like retiring their field? I actually really do. And for example, this is our lane. So this is our, for example, this is our field. I have Tri-Brute in the middle, and then I put it down here, right? I could attack some rear guard or attack the vanguard for no reason. Swing, counterblast 1, he stands, counterblast 1, retire something. He gains +2, his skill, draw a card, countercharge 1, then his skill, Soul Blast 1, and bounce 1. So that was, you didn't lose any cards, you got a countercharge, and you got a free retire. Now, here's where it gets really free, like really, really free. Like at the start of the turn, before you attack, you call this card, target that guy, play Arnest, rest this guy, draw a card, 1 card, retire, stand, her skill, counter charge 1, draw a card, and then bounce. So that's 2 cards, 2 free cards out of nowhere. Then call, and then you can repeat his skill over and over again. And the best part why I run this instead of run bull is because it goes into the soul. Once it goes into the soul, I have another resource to pay for Spurt Centaur. And that is also the reason why I play 3 Cool Hanks, because he doesn't use up soul. And as for this guy, the reason why I play this guy in the first place is because some people have a hard time rushing me early game. Some people have a hard time rushing me early game, so I would go for the kill. So if they're like at 3 damage, and you know you're gonna kill them, because each card in their hand, you know how much they're gonna either block it or how much damage they can guard. So if I use this guy, he's basically another Sazanda. And of course, the really basic combos, you're just putting this down there. If I have the regular Victor, I'll attack for no reason, 26k to Vanguard. Most of the time, it's an automatic win if I can get a crit trigger on this guy. He stands, he gets +10 and a +5, so this is swinging for 24 each time with a crit. That's disgusting. So this is 24 to Vanguard with crit. And then this guy attacks, 16, counterblast 1, stand, +10 again, 5k from his own skill, 5k from Cool Hank's skill, and this will be 34 by himself, 39 for the whole lane. 39 to Vanguard with crit, and then at the end of the battle, put to soul, stand, 41 to Vanguard with crit. I mean, if you lived through that turn, you probably strode first. Now, some of the combos that I did use, were if against Link Joker, and I have a lock card there, and let's say I strode as Victoplasma, because Victoplasma is always the guy that I'm going for. This is actually a really good lane. This is a really good lane, especially if you have the counter blast for it, and you really have no choice, because maybe this is lock 2 and favorite champ Victor needs 3 units to be stood just so you could use the combo. This is 16k to Vanguard, counterblast 1, stand this unit. When he stands, you choose 1 unit and give it +5. You give it to Cool Hank. Cool Hank skill, give this guy +5. Now the whole lane gets +10. This is a 26k lane. And then when your Vanguard attacks, 26 to Vanguard, I'm using the old Victor, counterblast 1, stand, +5. Now this is a 31k lane. So he's fighting against a 26, 26, then 26 again, then 31, and who knows how many triggers we'll get. So that's 4 attacks in 1 turn. It's 4 really big attacks. And how I played against Grand Blue, because Grand Blue has been a pain in the ass in Springfest, since they're the most clans that I fought. I fought like 3. I fought 3 Grand Blues. And the one weakness Grand Blue has is they can only retire 1 during your turn. And I try to get as much Maliakis as I can. So if 1 gets retired, I still have something else to pump each and every rear guard. What else? And also there's Kagero. Kagero is a very tricky clan to play against because they keep retiring your rear guards. And that's tough, especially if they're also running Belog. Because Belog is just so free. If the attack doesn't hit, kills my units, what am I gonna do? And especially Defeat Flare. This is the part where you actually have to interact with your opponent. You have to look at their drop zone because of Defeat Flare's skills to return 2 Flame Dragons? Yeah, Flame Dragons back into the deck. And if they can't pay for that, you're scot-free, unless they have 2 perfect guards. But to be honest, I might just run 2 favorite champs, so that if they actually pull off a retiring, I can actually favorite champ again to go deal the finishing blow. What else? What else is there to talk about? It's already been a 15-minute video. Well, shoutouts to L. Congrats, L, for going to Japan for free. Thanks for double critting me on the first round of top 8. I'm not salty. Just, yeah. Oh, and also this guy. This guy's pretty good too. This guy, the reason why I run 4 of this guy is because it's a really nice rear guard to poke with when they're grade 2 and you really have to ride a grade 3. It's 9k to Vanguard and then 16 to Vanguard. Or when you just need something to, you know, poke the Vanguard, 13 the Vanguard and then stands for plus 10 on its next stand. So it's pretty useful because it goes into the soul and it's not a worthless card that just stays there for so long. What else is there to explain? Mulligans? Okay, fine. As for Mulligans, I do my best to try to get at least these two cards, Spurt Centaur and Hedgehog, because they're gonna add 1 card to hand and brings this unit back. So that when Spurt Centaur is still there in the field, I could dismeld him, and then I get to keep him, and I get to use the combo again. And that's how I could still get the favorite champ turn. As for the favorite champ turn, some people don't know, but Maliaki still stacks. So when the unit in front of him attacks for the first time, and then stands, he can give 2 units +4/+4, even himself, even Maliaki. So if he swings, he's giving 2 units +4/+4. And then he stands for a second time, it's gonna be +8/+8, or +4/+4 to 4 different units. And then +8/+8, +12/+12. It's a very disgusting card, to be honest. And it's mostly a win condition. Some highlights that I like to talk about during the top 8, well, the second day before the top 8, was when I fought against Crazy 8. Because I have a friend, I actually had to fight him. He's from Baguio as well. He uses the Crazy 8 mechanic. And there was a moment where we both knew that whoever attacks loses. Because he will G-guard and he will be GB8 and I will lose. And for me, I have a G-guard and I will be GB3 and he will lose. So there was a point in the game, like I've never seen this before. This is the first time it ever happened. Like I needed to get to GB3. So I stood and draw. It was like after our first strides, stand and draw, turn end. And then he did the same, stand and draw, turn end. And then on my next turn, nothing's happening. So I strode into Victor, flipped his copy, and then ended my turn. And that's when he knew if I survive his next turn, he's gonna die. So that's when he started going for the kill, which I survived by thread. So that's one of the highlights of the day. That's something that I've never experienced ever in Vanguard. And also Wiseman got top 3. Like if I didn't, G-guards are changing really. G-guards are changing how fights work since there's GB8 and there's also the Wiseman turn, getting the Taros from the drop zone. There's so many things to consider. Sometimes you don't even want to attack with the Vanguard to get your cards because they will G-guard and you're actually helping them set up. So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for Honors Ground Baguio. Thank you so much for Rain Bell for making this video happen. Thank you so much for Team ContiBreak. Thank you so much for everyone's support. Yeah, see, I asked people to sign. Hey, man. I asked people to sign my playmat. Those that mean a lot to me. So like.
I thought there was no one there.
Alright, so like. Alright, so yeah, thanks very much for watching the video. Click subscribe for more really nice Vanguard content, and peace out.